On April 14th in Las Vegas, Nevada, my next guest is going to compete in the PFL cage for the sixth time in his career in search of his 11th professional win. He is what I like to say the most violent letter carrier in the world, and he joins me right now, the Postman, Mr. Dilano Taylor. Mr. Postman, Mr. Taylor, thank you for being here. And how's that for an introduction?
That's a great introduction.
Thank you.
Really good introduction.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I wanted to talk about my introduction to you, and it was Titan FC 73. You fought a tough dude named Marcus Edwards. I know we're going in the Wayback Machine here, but I have to say, you beat a high-level guy like that, people are going to take notice. There was like electricity in the air after you beat that man. And 11 months later, you're fighting for a PFL $1 million fight. That is just an insane amount of grit that you had to display amid all that uncertainty. You go from being an alternate, you go from having to step up on short notice, compete 5 times at the level in which you are. Your body is not able to recover at any point. You're probably just going on adrenaline the entire year. That's crazy. And I'd like for you to articulate just how difficult was that for you in your 2022, like from a physical and mental standpoint, because I can't think of too many people who could do what you did.
And last year was probably the most physical and mental, emotional roller coaster that I've been on. Man, like not knowing when I was gonna fight or if I was gonna fight, that was the first thing. And also I wasn't even the first alternate; I was the second alternate. So that's like the biggest thing. Like I wasn't even the first runner up. I was like number 3 draft pick. Like they weren't even picking me to go first. So for me, it was more so just being diligent in my work, and trusting God.
Absolutely. And I did kind of want to ask a little bit before we kind of like dig into some specifics. Why the PFL? Like after beating a guy like Edwards, like if you don't know who Marcus Edwards is, go on Tapology, look him up. That guy's the man. That's for the audience watching this. Look him up. He's really good. You beat a guy like that. It was a great fight. And I'm thinking to myself, like, this dude could go on the Contender Series. This dude could get a short notice call up to the UFC. He could go into Bellator. Like you chose to go into PFL. And I'm curious, like, what was your like reasoning behind that? There had to have been something else beyond that $1 million fight. I know that's a big draw, but was there anything else that made you want to sign with them?
One thing that made me want to sign with PFL was, of course, the opportunity to fight so consistently in a year. Before I was having trouble getting fights as often. Like I got fights, like a lot of fights in 1 year, but like for a short period of time, like 6 to 8 months, I didn't get any fights. And I was like, damn, man, like this is really hard to get a fight. People drop out, people get injured, but at least with the PFL, on that system, if somebody gets hurt, they have an ultimate. You're gonna fight somebody. You're gonna always have a fight. You're always gonna be consistent. You're always gonna be active. And for me, being active as a fighter and as a competitor was like one of the biggest things for me. Not even just winning the title or winning the money, but being an active fighter and as active as possible to develop my craft.
I love the PFL for a lot of different reasons. I love the seasonal format. It's very interesting. It makes things fresh. I like that it's all performance based, so it takes a lot of the fight politics out of it. You don't have to be a big name to get a big fight. It's all 100% performance based. I like that. I'm going to put you on the hot seat a little bit. I have a question for you, and it's this. Kayla Harrison said that you should be able to like elbow people in the face for championship fights. I'd love to get your opinion because you were in a championship fight. Like, what's your take on all that? I know, like, there's a limit about what you can do with your elbows in a regular season fight, but in a championship fight, should that be allowed in your opinion?
I feel like it should be allowed in a championship fight. I feel like that makes the most sense because I understand not wanting or not being able to put elbows during the regular season because of, cuts probably taking people out of the fights. But when you're in a championship fight, you have 6 to 8 weeks, sometimes like 8 to 12 weeks to prepare for a fight. So, I mean, you could develop the craft of throwing elbows, and I feel like elbows should be able to be thrown in the finals. That actually makes a lot of sense. Kayla was not wrong about that.
Let's make it happen. Come on, Ray, make that happen for us. Here's something to kind of think about. It's been roughly 5-6 months since the last fight. The time away from the sport, giving your body a chance to recover, your mind to reset. Like, were you able to like enjoy just I know you guys fight year round. I know you're training year round, but like, were you able to enjoy yourself and do something just for you in that amount of downtime that you had?
Yeah, I traveled a little bit, went to see some family in Jamaica. Um, but as far as downtime went, yeah, I kind of just took a couple of weeks off to just reassess, just be me in nature and just be with myself, figure out what's going on with me.
Is
When you go through a roller coaster like that, you don't really have time to process or think about the things dealing with you. You kind of just go with emotions. And it's really hard to keep up with yourself when you're not even in tune with yourself anymore.
Yeah, I completely understand. When you look back at the fight that had transpired and you look at the tape, I'm sure there are things you and your coaches saw and you're like, okay, these are the things that we want to address. And I am pretty sure that when we see you come in this cage here in a couple weeks, I'm going to see a new guy now. And you're going up. I'm not going to ask you what you worked on because I don't want to know. I want to see it when you perform. I'm good with it being a mystery until April 14th. But I'd love to get your opinion on your opponent, Magomed Umalatov. I hope I said his name correctly, but if I messed up his name, hey, I will say this: that guy's a beast. I've seen this guy fight before. He's really talented, 12-0. It's a tough fight for you. What's your take on your opponent, and what do you need to do, sir, to hang an L on this guy?
Yeah, I think he's pretty good. Will I say he's overhyped? Kinda, yeah. Um, from watching his footage and watching his fighting style, I'm not gonna say that he's not good because he's good. He knows what to do. He knows how to fight. He knows how to move and throw certain things and set stuff up. But I think for me, the game plan for me to beat him is just pressure bust pipes. And I think once he's on his back heel, he's gonna recognize that there's nothing else for him to do. He's gonna start worrying. He's gonna start swinging for the fences, and that's when he's gonna get caught.
Well, I am certainly looking forward to that. I know that you have a lot of fans. I know that you have a lot of people in your corner that make Team Postman what it is. So if there's anyone that you'd like to shout out or thank, or any companies or sponsors that you would like to talk about, I'd love for you to have that chance before I let you go.
Shout out to Symmetry Fitness, ATT Sunrise, and ATT Fort Lauderdale. Also, Swamp and Stunt Women Association. They're pretty dope. They've been looking after me for quite some time now. Appreciate you guys. Also, Kill Clip FC to my train at.
Perfect. Well, Mr. Taylor, I appreciate your time, and I wish you the best of luck, sir, in your fight here in a couple weeks.
Appreciate you, boss. Appreciate